بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Question regarding the person who says that that certain rules or laws of the Sharia were applicable to them, and there was no place for these rules or laws in our time, and they need to be changed.
Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Firstly, that statement is abtal al-abatil, one of the most false statements that a person could make, and it's something that opposes that which is clearly found in the book of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, when Allah azza wa jalla said, al-yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-islam deena. This day I have perfected your religion for you, and I have completed my favor upon you, and I've chosen Islam as your religion. Alhamdulillah, that verse, it was revealed, walillahi alhamd wal minna, to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and it's clear and established in many things. What? Firstly, that al-Islam, alhamdulillah, is complete. Secondly, that alhamdulillah, Islam is our religion that Allah azza wa jal has blessed us with. So therefore, the rulings and the regulations that were relevant to the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam are also relevant to the time that we live today. Every Muslim believes what? That anything that Allah azza wa jal commands, it is due to the overall benefit, or it is due to pure benefit. Naam, it is due to the overall benefit, or it is due to pure benefit. Anything Allah azza wa jal prohibits, then it is due to the overall benefit in staying away from it, or the pure benefit in staying away from it. I'll give an example with regards to the latter. Alcohol, Allah azza wa jalla mentions that there is some benefit, however the evil outweighs any good, so therefore it's forbidden. Al-masalih wal-mafasid. Now, pure evil is a zina, fornication. There's no benefit in it whatsoever. So alhamdulillah, the commands and the prohibitions revolves around what? Establishing that which is beneficial for society and the individual, and protecting society and the individual from harm. Now, with regards to the statement that the Sharia was applicable to a particular time and not applicable to another, that's a rejection of, for example, that ayah and other ayat in the Quran. As Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, He criticizes individuals for legislating a legislation other than His. أَمْ لَهُمْ شُرَكَاءُ شَرَعُوا لَهُمْ مِنَ الدِّينِ مَا لَمْ يَأْذَنْ بِهِ اللَّهُ. Do they have partners who have legislated for them things that Allah Azza wa Jal did not legislate? So it's clear that Allah Azza wa Jal criticized these individuals for what? Introducing legislation that Allah Azza wa Jal has not permitted or allowed. And Allah Azza wa Jal has referred to these legislators as what? As shuraka, partners. Naam. The third thing that has to be understood, there are certain rulings, alhamdulillah, that are applicable to the whole of mankind. Every Muslim and Muslimah, young and old, male and female. Like for example, wudu. Naam, you have to have wudu in order to pray salah. You have to purify yourself from al-hadath al-asghar wal-hadath al-akbar, the major ritual impurity and the minor ritual impurity. That's applicable to everyone, male, female, young and old. Because what? The tahara is from the conditions of the prayer. However, there are certain rulings and regulations that are only applicable to the rulers, which, for example, the hudud, the prescribed punishments. Islam does not justify, or Islam does not allow vigilantism. Prescribed punishments are at the discretion of who? The Muslim ruler. Naam. So this statement is very dangerous. This statement, it is something that is tantamount to rejection of verses in the book of Allah, Naam, and actually rejection of what we find in the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we fear for any individual who holds this type of belief. And rather, the problem has arisen, wallahu a'lam, is that they do not understand when certain rulings and regulations are to be implemented and applied. I'll give an example. In Saudi Arabia, this is the law of the land. This is the law of the land, something that is derived from the Quran and the Sunnah. Why? Because this is a theocracy, which means what? That the laws and the regulations and the rulings of the land are based upon the religion, meaning al-Islam. So that is something that the rulers of this country, they choose to implement. Khalas. However, say for example, living in America or living in Africa or living in America, somebody steals. It is haram for somebody now as a vigilante to go and try and chop off somebody's hand. Rather, as the scholars they mention, this is from the way of the extremists and from the way of the Khawarij, because capital punishment cannot be handed and dished out by an individual. It's at the discretion of the ruler. It's like America. I'll give an example. In America, the punishment for murder is what? Is the electric chair. In some states, they choose to punish with the electric chair. So somebody may say, people may disagree on that, and they do disagree on it, because in Europe, it's considered to be barbaric. That is why they will not extradite anyone to countries, from certain countries in Europe, to any country that has the death penalty in place. So if somebody, in America, this is law. This is something that they find in their constitution, or something that they find in their rules and regulations. A person is a murderer. However, this murderer is in the UK. Is it permissible now for an American citizen in the UK, to go and say, this man is a murderer, he's fled from our country, I'm going to kill him? No, nobody would accept that, nobody would tolerate it, and it's absurd. So that's exactly the same scenario. وَالْعِلْمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. So alhamdulillah, Muslims living in the West, this with regards to any type of prescribed punishment, لا يخصهم أصلا. It does not, they have no role whatsoever with regards to that, except that they believe in the whole of the Sharia, and they accept it alhamdulillah wholeheartedly. And if they were to try and implement any of the prescribed punishments as individuals, then this is from the way of the Khawarij, the extremists. Wallahu a'lam.